Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we have Anushika with us. She is doing her masters in media communications from University of Amsterdam. So, welcome Anushika, and thank you so much for accepting the invitation.
Thank you so much, Nikita, for inviting me. It's an honor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Can you please give a brief introduction to our audience?
Yeah, sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Anushika, and I've just recently completed my master's in media studies from University of Amsterdam. And right now, I'm living in Amsterdam, and I will see what opportunity Europe has for me right now. And depending on that, I will decide where to work. Yeah.
Okay, so can we start from your 11th grade? Like, what was your aspirations back then, and what has changed till
Yeah,
now?
sure. 11th grade, I was 100% sure that I'm going to be an astrophysicist. So, since I was 4 years old, I was sure that I have to be an astronomer because I was always interested in space sciences. I was interested in physics, astronomy. So, I was very sure that 11th में मुझे PCM ही लेना है, and I took that. And even till 12th, I was very sure. I did my bachelor's also in physics. And during that point of time, I would say I realized that, astrophysics, for me, I enjoy it more if I don't pursue it as a PhD as of now. So that's when I sort of thought of changing my track. It was a very big decision for me because I never had a plan B. It was always plan A. It was मुझे एस्ट्रोफिजिसिस्ट ही बनना है, तो मैंने उसी तरीके से प्रिपेयर किया था. 11th 12th everything. I did physics. Even my 4 years of undergraduate I did from Shiv Nade University, India. There also I did my physics honors. Last year also I interned at IUCA Pune, and I did my thesis on radio astronomy. After that, I did an internship in Nicer, Orissa, where I worked with meteorites and cosmochemistry. But during that point, I sort of realized that, right now for me to commit the next 6 years of my life is something that I want to give another thought. And media and communication was something that I thought I personally was very good at. Even my friends and all were like, "Why are you doing physics? I think you should give this a try." And I was like, okay, let's see how it goes. And that's why I took the leap. I applied to University of Amsterdam and I got in, thankfully. And I just finished my master's in it. And so far, so good. Let's see where life takes me from here. I'm also a bit unsure, but I just finished my master's. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations, by the way, for
Thank you.
completing your master's.
Thank you so much, Nikita.
Yeah, so you switched your careers from physics to media communications and then you applied for masters.
Yeah.
So was it difficult because of your because you did your bachelor's in physics and you were applying for media communications? Was it difficult? Like, what was your profile?
Very true. It is kind of difficult because you're starting from scratch, firstly, and even for a master's, you need a bachelor's degree or something similar, right? For me, that somehow it didn't. It wasn't a hindrance for me because when I was doing my bachelor's, I also did a minor in dance research.
Okay.
So dance research comes under the bracket of humanities. Since I had some certain credits with certain foundational courses in humanities as well when I was doing my physics major, that sort of helped me build my profile and show it to the universities that I have some prerequisite knowledge about humanities. So please allow me to pursue this. And of course, I also checked the prerequisites of the university. If they had a very stringent policy that no, you cannot apply, then I would have, of course, skipped it. But thankfully, all the four top universities in mass media, they allow you if you have certain kind of prerequisites. So even University of Amsterdam has a pre-masters. So if you, in case you don't have any credits in humanities, you have to first finish the pre-masters and then you have to go for the masters. But thankfully for me, they selected me based off of my credits and my previous experience in humanities, which I don't know, it can be called luck because I don't know how they did that. But two three universities that I applied to, all of them sort of accepted those credits.
Mhm. So how long is the pre-masters if someone
Yeah,
has
yeah.
to do it?
So pre-masters is, I think, 1 year long. So you just have to finish some prerequisite courses, and then you apply for the masters by the end of your pre-masters. Yeah.
Okay. And the whole master's degree is for 2 years or 1 year?
It the program that I did is
Mhm.
actually 1 year, but it can be extended to 2 years. And University of Amsterdam calls this the research masters. So
Okay.
I also had a research based course, but your Europe colleges usually has this policy that they offer these 1 year courses, which can be extended to 2 years. And if you are looking to work or get some job experience and do not want to maybe continue into 2 years, then you have the option of finishing all your credits and courses by the first year, and then you sort of graduate. Because my course, the 2 year one, if I didn't graduate, for instance, this year, I could have extended my thesis and made it like a bigger thesis with more
Mhm.
credits for the second year. But I didn't have to do that. I chose the 1 year and I just graduated within that time span.
Okay. And why did you decided to go abroad to do your master's, not in India? What was the
Very good
reason?
point. Yeah.
Mhm.
So one that you mentioned in the beginning was India does require prerequisites
Yeah.
and all these examinations, which is of course a very good choice to give if you want to do that. But for me, since I was looking into a very niche field, because my course amongst media studies, it's called New Media and Digital Culture. I wanted to do it from the top university. I was very clear
Mhm.
about that. It's a very funny story. I just searched what are the top universities in media, and University of Amsterdam came out as QS number one. And I was like, you know what? I just want a good department where I can pursue this very niche field that I want to, which includes a touch of science also. And I just
Mhm.
applied there. And I was like, I need some experience outside. I need a global perspective. So that's why I chose this particular media studies course. And I knew that this has to be done wherever the best university is, and it became Amsterdam because that's where the university was. So I
Yeah.
didn't really want to go abroad as such. It was more based off of which department I'm interested in.
Yeah. So it wasn't like I want to go in that particular country or that particular university. It was just based on what you want to do,
That's
like
true. That's very
where
true.
you'll get the best out of your masters.
That's true. That was my first choice for sure. But हाँ, अगर मुझे मिलता है ऐसी भी जगह पे, like completely aloof and disconnected from the world, then also I would have thought a little bit. But of course, it was a factor of a lot of things. I wanted to meet new people and get a global perspective in media studies, see how research outside works. So all these factors pointed towards Amsterdam, and I thought maybe that's the right place to go. Yeah.
Yeah. And how many universities did you apply?
Not many actually. I just applied to four. The top four in the QS, I just applied to those. And thankfully, I got into three out of the four. And I went with the number one ranked, which is, I wouldn't say that's the right way to do if you want to apply that way. Definitely not the right way to choose your university. But somehow it worked out for me because I wanted to get into University of Amsterdam only, and I got
Mhm.
in there. So it worked out okay for me during that time.
If you are okay, can you also share what other universities you applied to?
Yeah, sure. So one was University of Amsterdam. I also applied to
Mhm.
London School of Economics. There was University of Stirling, and the fourth one was Southern California and US. But for me, US was definitely not the choice for humanities, at least. um,
Okay.
when I was doing physics, I had gotten some PhD admissions into US. That was definitely a choice. But again, as I told you at that time, I wasn't sure if I want to spend the next 6 years of my life there.
Mhm.
So Europe was, as a continent, my choice for humanities after my research. Yeah,
Yeah. So, what does the admission process in Netherlands or University of
yeah,
Amsterdam, or other universities that you have applied
yeah.
during that? How does
Um,
that look?
so pardon, because my memory is not that clear, but as far as like I remember what I had to do, one was that you definitely need to submit an SOP, your
Mhm.
transcripts, letter of recommendations is a must from three professors. And there was also, I think, in some cases, they were asking for, of course, the prerequisite, the number of credits you have. And
Mhm.
if you have given GRE, then sure, you can enter that marks. But they don't give that much value to GRE test scores. But of course, IELTS and TOEFL, it's a requirement. So you have to do that. These are the main things that you have to do. Pretty similar to the US one, but a little like different when it comes to, I think, test scores. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what are the things that one should consider, like one should focus while they are doing their bachelor's and they want to switch their careers later on? What are the things they should focus on during that time?
Yeah, so that's a very good question again. That's something that I should have also done more before applying.
Mhm.
One is definitely to get in internships in that field, because I didn't really have any experience in media studies apart from the humanities courses that I did in my university. But it is
Yeah.
also because I, had those courses that it was really helpful. So you should at least do courses by yourself, at least, or
Mhm.
maybe talk to professors in that same field, because even to get that letter of recommendation, it's because I did these different courses in SNU, where the professors were thankfully from humanities department, and I had a good repertoire with them, and they sort of helped me navigate through this process of applying. So definitely get more internships. You should also see and do courses yourself, and always ask your professors about the experience and how it is to change your fields. Yeah.
Yeah, and you also mentioned that you did internships in physics as well.
Yeah.
So, what was the process of getting an internship?
um I think in STEM in general, and even in physics, the process of getting an internship is definitely first, even you would know, is to cold email the
Yeah.
professor. So that was my primary sort of like step for getting an internship as well. For the
Mhm.
IUCA one also, I cold emailed the professors, and thankfully I got one of them, of course after interviews and stuff, but you have to put in that effort that you have to like send at least 100 emails to different professors and see what is interesting to you. And
Yeah.
I was, yeah, like heading the astronomy club at that time. And the professors that had come to the seminars and all, thankfully one of them, I
Mhm.
emailed them and they sort of interviewed me and liked me as a student. So that's how I got the internship. Same with the nicer one. I just emailed and I showed my, transcripts and everything, and I told them that this is my interest. I have some experience through these certain courses that I did in physics. So I would really like to, at least have a conversation and know what your research is about. And thankfully, some of the professors were kind enough to reply and take me in as their intern. Yeah.
Yeah. So, very well. I actually forgot the question that I
That's
was
okay.
thinking about.
No, no, no worries, no worries.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the visa process
Yeah,
of Netherlands. What does it looks like for an Indian
yeah,
student?
yeah. So Netherlands visa process is fairly simple, I would say. What you do is the university provides you with all the information and steps to apply. So once you get the offer, and if you choose to accept it, you sort of pay a visa fee in advance, because what the university does is they apply directly for you the
Mm-hmm.
student visa. So you don't have to separately go and apply. You just have to pay the fee in the university portal, depending on the university and their instructions. And then it's a very simple process. You get called to the visa office. You have to come with your documents. You submit it, and within few months, depending on their workload, of course, you get the visa stamp. And with Netherlands, you get an entry visa first, so that's only valid for 3 months. Once you
Mm-hmm.
enter the country, you have to go to an ind office, their immigration office, and collect your residence permit, which is valid
Okay.
in the entire Schengen area. So that's how the visa process works.
Mm-hmm. And I'm so bad at this
No, no, that's okay,
doing
that's okay.
podcast and interviews.
No, that's
And
fine, I
I was also
understand.
going to ask if someone is thinking about switching their careers,
Yeah, yeah,
what were the hiccups in your journey like that you faced,
yeah.
and what they should avoid?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, for sure, I would say the first and biggest hiccup I still get in my life is that, was it a right decision to change my field?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you'll never know if you don't try. And I would definitely say that although physics is something that I still really love, I'm not going to lie about that because it's a major part of my life. It has always been that. So definitely a voice behind your head will always be like, did you do the right thing? Look at others who are, continuing on.
Yeah.
But then I also tell myself that, something made you decide. So a voice within you was telling you that maybe you should give it a try. And I would always recommend everyone to at least go with their gut feeling once if they can,
Mm-hmm.
because it's never too late for something. And of course, it's easier said than done. For a lot of people, it's very difficult to, change your feel like this because you don't really get the support from people. And I was also judged a lot in my university where people were like, why are you changing physics? You've spent so much time doing this, and these judgments will always come. But at the end of the day, you should definitely do and try things which your gut feeling is telling you to. And
Mm-hmm.
till now, I think I performed really well, in media studies also. I really enjoyed the course. It was very fulfilling, I would say. And
Mm-hmm.
one more thing was that physics, no matter what people say, career choices are very limited unless you go into postdoc and then at the age of 35 or whatever you get an assistant professorship. A lot of people want to do that, and I really really support them. All my friends and colleagues, people who have actually continued on, it's very nice, but I wasn't really sure, so that was a hiccup, I would say, in my life. I was like, before pursuing PhD into hardcore theoretical physics, I want to give media a try, and you never know if something changes, because I always used to see these videos of Veritasium and three blue, one brown, and
Mm-hmm.
I was always inspired by these videos. I was like, I want to do something similar because I think I really enjoy making videos like this, and I enjoy teaching. So I wanted a combination of communication studies. So I thought maybe
Mm-hmm.
why not check how media studies is, and why not try it at least once in my life. And I took that leap. It was
Mm-hmm.
very difficult, because I decided not to go for a PhD offer which I had already gotten from Purdue and Arizona. So it was a very big decision for me, and a lot of people were like, why are you not doing this? But again, I was like, these offers are still, I'm not very sure if this is the exact subject I want to work with. I was very clear. I want, either I'm going to work exactly in planetary science or I'm not going to do anything. So that was also a very big decision for me कि अगर मुझे
Mm-hmm.
एग्जैक्ट इसी में PhD नहीं मिला तो मैं नहीं करूँगी. And I stuck with that, and right now it's very difficult for me to get back into academia, of course. But let's see. I'll sort of get some work experience, see if there are other things which is interesting, a combination of science, communication, and something, and then I'll take it from there. Right now my first goal is to look for a job, because I took a student loan, and
Mm-hmm.
this entire decision was mine. I did like मुझे अपने ही बल में जाना है बाहर, and मैं खुद से ही सब करूँगी. So right now my first focus is to get a job, and then the rest will figure out as I go on.
Yeah, and that's true. Like you said, PhD is a long commitment. You
Yes,
need to
yes.
have like 5 to 6 years minimum.
Yeah,
You
you are in which year of your PhD?
I'm in my second year of PhD.
Are you liking it so far?
Yeah, I really enjoy my
Yeah.
topic. It was my like dream topic. When I was in
Awesome.
11th,
Yeah.
when I was in 11th class, I did a presentation
Hmm.
and I won the second prize from for my
Wow,
presentation,
awesome.
and I really liked that topic. And
See?
that's the
Yeah.
same topic that I'm doing right now. It was
See,
like,
that's awesome. See, if you like the topic you're doing, then there's nothing. You're unstoppable. So you should
yeah.
definitely pursue it. That's what I tell everybody. Yes,
Mhm.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so I was also going to ask you if you are
Yeah,
comfortable answering
yeah,
that question, you can.
yeah,
Like, how much, what was the total cost of your study, like including
yeah,
the
yeah,
travel, visa expenses, and everything, just in
yeah,
general?
yeah. So, Europe compared to US is much cheaper, I would say. The
Mm-hmm.
entire course for me was 16,000 euros. So
Okay.
that would be around 16 lakhs for one
Mm-hmm.
year. which is much cheaper compared to the US ones, because in US, even the PhD course I calculated, even if I were to do that all combined, at least my kharcha would be around 50 lakhs or something, or more than that. So definitely, even in University of Southern California, that was also
Mhm.
one of my factors, because I wanted to, since I'm trying something new and I'm investing in something, I didn't want it to be an extravagant, kharcha as well, which is why I chose this. The course itself was like 16,000 euros, and the living cost and
Mhm.
everything comes to around 12,000 euros or something. सो 26 lakhs में आपका एक साल ऐसे कर जाए, मतलब बीत जाता है. And if you get like a part-time job or a full-time job also, it's very easy to repay your loan also if you take it within 3 to 4 years. So
Mhm.
Europe that way is much cheaper than US when it comes to
So,
masters.
okay, is it easy to manage like part-time job and also your studies? How does the coursework looks like?
Yeah, for masters, for me, it was a bit difficult because I was really busy with all the assignments and everything. But
Yeah.
definitely, it's not impossible. It's not impossible at
Mhm.
all. You can do it if you want to. And the only problem with Europe, I would say, is that even for a part-time job, you need a work visa. And if you want to get into the hassle of applying for that work visa with your extra money, and then the employer has to decide if they want to accept or not, it's a
Mhm.
lot of hassle. And I didn't want to go through it personally. So I was like, I'm focusing on my studies right now. After this, when I get a job, I will do it. But if it's completely possible, I would say, even to manage with your studies, very much doable in Europe. And a lot of people do it as well. It's just this hassle of work visa and all, because in US you don't have to do that. With your
Mhm.
student visa, you are allowed to work, right? So
Yeah.
that is a major difference between working in Europe and US. That's why people in Europe do not prefer part-time jobs as such until like very, very necessary. Um, you can just do a full-time job after you graduate. And since mine was just 1 year, I was like, let's focus and give my full focus to studies. And after that, I'll pursue a job. So that was like
Mhm.
that for me.
Well, and what does the scholarship scenario looks like? Is it
Yeah.
easy to get a scholarship in Europe universities, or is it difficult?
I would say it is somewhere in the middle. So
Mhm.
for me, I applied so late, because I was already nicer when I was applying, and the scholarship deadlines had passed away. And at that time, I didn't even decide that I want to do a media and communication course. So it was a very huge mistake on my part to not apply for the scholarship. I would say it's medium level difficulty. They see on a lot of factors. They'll see your transcripts, your scores, your GPA, and your test scores, and it is possible. And for
Mhm.
this particular course, I had to, and I missed the deadline. You should have applied for the AMS scholarship. With that, they cover all your living costs. So tuition you pay, but for living and everything, it's all covered. So it was a huge loss
Mhm.
at my part, because I realized when I applied to this course around 15 January, and the last day for the scholarship was September or something, which was completely not possible for me to go back and do it. But definitely you
Mhm.
should. And I knew few people who actually got this AMS scholarship. If you had like a GPA above 8, and I had it
Mhm.
already, mine was 8.38 in physics, so I was definitely eligible. And then depending on other factors, they would have chosen. But I would say it's medium level difficulty to get a scholarship, and you should definitely take the opportunity, whoever is applying, to check everything in advance and
Mhm.
to apply for the scholarship. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the deadlines for the admission process and the scholarship process? If you can give like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the scholarships and all, I think they end by September, October. So you have to apply by then. And
Mhm.
for I think University of Amsterdam, February, first week of February is the last day of applying. So
Okay.
I think it's like similar to the US process, where your applications end around the first round ends around October, and if you're a spring intake, then it's of course January, April.
Mhm.
And I think it's similar with University of Amsterdam. The last date would have been, I think, last week of January. I'm not so sure right now, but during that time only. Yeah.
Okay. Any last comments? I don't have any more questions. I'm done with my all
No, no, that's good.
questions. Any last comments? Any suggestions for the viewers? Like.
Um, uh, Last comments, I would say that take your time to explore and see
Mhm.
if it's possible, because this 1 year more than I would say studying also, I got to travel a lot around Europe because once you have that residence permit, you can go here and there. Live
Mm-hmm.
in student hostels, get to know different cultures in their life, which was very interesting for me. I would say it's a major learning in my life. Also to know other people's cultures, and it was very nice to study in an university which also gives you like a global perspective
Yeah.
because the people who were studying in the university, they come from different parts of the world, and I made a lot of good friends. So again, I would say that don't be afraid to try, and be prepared पहले से, because I think a huge mistake that I did and I've learned my lesson was that I'm a very last moment person. If I decide something, I'll start immediately, but then I missed out the things which could have been done better in
Hmm.
terms of applying to scholarships, getting more internship experience, or even, waiting out and giving some more examinations. It's completely doable, so don't make those mistakes. Uh, but yeah, definitely keep trying, keep working hard, and that's it, I think.
Yeah. Planning is very important. If you
Planning.
want to do like any degree in abroad, planning is very important.
Very, very important. It's a
Yeah.
do or die situation here because once you're here, you have limited resources, you have limited money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even doing a PhD where you get like a stipend, right? So you have to be very careful with your expenditure, with your spending.
Yeah.
So you have to know that, once you're here, you have to take care of everything in advance and
Mm-hmm.
plan accordingly and always be prepared for the worst and plan that way. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Anushka.
No
Thank
worries, no worries,
you.
Nikita. Thank you so much for inviting. It was really fun having this conversation with you.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye. See you.
Okay, bye. See you.